Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A 2-day manhunt for a violent escaped prisoner has ended this morning, with police taking inmate Graham John Ennis back into custody. Our reporter Michelle Wisby joins us now live from outside the Risdon prison. Good evening, Michelle. I understand you have some breaking news.
That's right, Joe. Just a few minutes ago, police confirmed they have charged a man with escaping from lawful custody, destroying property, burglary and stealing. Police found the escapee within just 3 kilometres of the prison. He was taken into police custody and questioned late into the afternoon. But it's not the only escape police were dealing with today. Armed Special Operation Police storm through backyards and city streets, part of a frantic 2-day search for a prisoner on the run.
The helicopters, the police going around, everyone was concerned. We all took care of each other, made sure we had our doors locked and spread the word.
Had to lock my back door, yeah, and the helicopters were sort of just about 3 feet above my roof.
Police say Graham John Ennis jumped the Risdon prison fence yesterday morning, sparking a manhunt. Officers on foot, in cars, bikes and helicopters searching through the night.
11:40 this morning, the prison escapee Graham Ennis was recaptured by police in bush area off Downhams Road at Risdon Vale.
Found unarmed in this dense bushland.
Police officers who were in that area conducting door knocks and searches of the area spotted the escapee and followed him.
He was taken back into police custody with no injuries. Discovered near several potentially stolen items, including this steak knife, clothing, first aid supplies and food. Being caught, is that a relief?
Oh, hell yes. Definitely a relief, yeah.
I'll have a nice night's rest tonight, I'd say.
It's a really good result. He went to prison for a reason, and it still has a period of that imprisonment to serve. So we were very keen to make sure he was returned to prison as quickly as possible.
In a separate incident, police have also been searching for Braden William Stanley, who escaped custody in Burnie yesterday. Authorities say the 26-year-old ran through a side door of the police station before stealing a Tasrail car, police labelling him low risk.
Our RPOS units out and looking for Braden, and again that exists to the Burnie area, will exist into Somerset and likely to be Smithton.
Michelle, what's been the fallout from the incident?
Joe, the government faced a grilling over the 2 incidents inside Parliament today. The Labor Party had questions over resourcing at the prison, while unions are asking about the classification of some inmates. Let's take a look now.
Pressure on the prison service bubbling into state parliament today. The government feeling the political fallout.
The man reportedly moved some scaffolding so he could just hop over the fence, and he fled into the neighbouring community. Premier, the community is not feeling safe under your government. They're feeling scared.
Community safety is an absolute priority for this government, and any prison breach or escape is indeed a serious matter.
At a time when the prison's maximum security section is stretched, this escapee was being housed in minimum security. That's despite previous attempts to escape from custody and an incident where he shot towards police.
It seems to me that that there are inmates in minimum at times that surprise me that that's how they're classified.
The Premier says it's triggered a review into inmate classifications as well as the facility itself.
The TPS maintenance team will also undertake an urgent review of the facility in an effort to identify any structural weaknesses or make any repairs necessary to strengthen any escape routes within the facility.
Premier, your tough on crime agenda has been shown up for what it is, a bluff on crime.
The public sector union says prison staff are stretched.
I think the last 24 hours has been pretty embarrassing for Tasmania's prison service, and I think it's symptomatic of of a system that is under immense pressure. There are too many inmates in the system and too few staff there to properly manage them.
We've advertised for the next intake to recruit up to 90 new correctional officers over the next year. So, Madam Speaker, that's what we are doing to keep our communities safe.
The government is also expected to announce the site of its $270 million northern prison this week. Michael Breen, 7 Tasmania News.
A jury has taken just 40 minutes to find the driver who mowed down a man in Prospect Vale last year not guilty on the grounds of insanity. Joshua Joseph Barker maintained he was innocent of murdering Dale James Watson. Today, jurors agreed Mr Barker was behind the wheel of the car but could not be held criminally responsible for his actions.
He lost his son to a terrible tragedy, but Terence Watson did not lose his sense of compassion.
In this, there's no answers. You know, I feel sorry for his parents too. You know, they've lost a son in one way. So, you know, we're both losers.
This is where the life of Dale Watson came to a sad end. Mowed down by Joshua Barker on March 9 last year in Prospect Vale. Today, a defence lawyer for Mr Barker urged jurors to find him not guilty of manslaughter by culpable negligence on the grounds of insanity. Crown prosecutors said Mr Barker had committed murder, but should also be found not guilty on the grounds of insanity. They argued he deliberately drove his car at the victim. The 12-person jury took only 40 minutes to agree with the latter.
The only thing I can say is that justice has been served. I'm glad for the outcome. And, you know, I don't want anyone else to walk in my shoes.
The 7-day trial heard Mr Barker was suffering from acute post-traumatic stress disorder, a condition which dated back to a serious assault he suffered in 2009. After the verdict was handed down, Justice Robert Pearce ordered a report be prepared by the Chief Forensic Psychiatrist. Joshua Barker will reappear in court on November 18.
But that's the way it is, and, you know, we've just got to get on with our own lives now, and it's going to be sad. I'm never going to have him, you know, I've got the memories, but, you know, I'll always ask why.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A coronial inquest has heard a dishwasher which electrocuted a Scamander man was wrongly wired. Guy Clark died while helping replace a coffee machine at a northeast cafe where he was working in 2015.
The dishwasher at the centre of the accident came under scrutiny at the inquest today. Appliance repairer Ian Ransley told the court how he had been called out to fix the dishwasher, which was used to clean glassware at Pygarnig Dairy's Holy Cow Cafe twice in late 2013. On one occasion, he'd installed a longer cord. On the other, he'd replaced burnt wires. The next time Mr Ransley was called to repair the dishwasher was in early 2016, 4 months after Guy Clark died. During that inspection, he deemed the dishwasher was in very poor condition. He recommended that it needed to be replaced. Mr Ransley says a new dishwasher arrived around 3 weeks later. Guy died as a result of being electrocuted while trying to find a tap to disconnect the water supply to a coffee machine that was being taken away for repairs. The father of 2 had placed his arm inside the front panel of the dishwasher where the wiring was. Mr Ransley stated that during his last inspection of the dishwasher in February 2016, he noticed the device's 3-pin plug had been wired back to front. The court also heard that if a safety device had been installed on the subboard, Guy would not have been electrocuted when he put his hand inside the front panel of the dishwasher. If they had been installed prior to this incident wouldn't have happened. The inquest continues tomorrow. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
A 26-year-old man has been charged with causing grievous bodily harm following an alleged shooting at Rokeby yesterday morning. Police were called to an Arden Drive home at around 5:45, finding a 29-year-old man with a gunshot wound to his lower abdomen. He remains in a serious but stable condition in hospital. It's been a busy afternoon on the Bass Highway at Hagley after a man lost control of his car and trailer and ended up on train tracks. Emergency services were called to the highway at around 2:30 this afternoon after reports a trailer was stuck on the rail line.
He hasn't been paying attention properly. He's come up behind another vehicle. He's braked very quickly, which has caused him to lose control of his vehicle. He's made the choice to drive up over the bank.
The trailer had been carrying gym equipment, which was left strewn across the tracks. Around half an hour later, 2 cars crashed on the same stretch of road, causing traffic to build up. No one was injured in the crashes. The state government has taken further measures in the battle to strengthen Tasmania's primary industries, set to recruit 20 new biosecurity staff as part of its initiative to secure our borders.
It'll be at those key areas, the ports, the airports, the mail centres, all around Tasmania. Nowhere will be excluded, wherever those risks are high.
The new officers will be tasked with inspecting high-risk produce and imported freight during peak periods, in the hopes of reducing the chance of pests such as Queensland fruit fly from entering the state. Parks and Wildlife is investigating the deaths of 14 little penguins. They were discovered near the blowhole in Bicheno by a local resident at 6:30 this morning. Dipipui says the carcasses have been collected for post-mortem examination. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers. 2 of Tasmania's largest airports have escaped a multi-million-dollar bill, with the federal court ruling in their favour in a battle with local government. The Clarence and Northern Midlands councils tried to overturn a rates exemption, saying it was unfair to other ratepayers.
Tasmania's 2 biggest airports are major landmarks in their communities, but according to local councils, weren't paying their fair share of rates under a special exemption.
It's really a matter of principle that it's unfair to have one ratepayer in the entire city able to basically set their own rate.
The Northern Midlands and Clarence councils took the matter all the way to the federal court, but today their argument was knocked back. They're now missing out on millions of dollars in rates since 2013.
It's probably not surprising. It's a very disappointing judgment. It places a lot of costs back onto the Northern Midlands Council.
It's only just happened. The decision's only just been announced, and we are certainly looking at our options. I think there will be implications.
In a statement, Hobart Airport welcomed the decision and said its focus will remain on providing the best possible service to the community.
It was always going to be a difficult case for Northern Midlands to win, and the judge has thrown it out at the first opportunity.
The councils are now required to pay the airport's legal fees. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
Mona's infamous poo machine has received its biannual bowel cancer screening. A local pathologist demonstrating on a sample from the cloaca in an effort to promote regular testing.
More than 90% of the early cancers, if detected early, are curable. So this test saves lives, and this is why it's very important that when you receive the kit in the mail, that you just go ahead and do it.
An at-home kit can be mailed to people between 50 and 74 years old, with results sent to doctors for analysis.
Excitement is building ahead of the Tassie Tigers' first match in the revamped national competition, Hockey 1. And with the men's and women's squads jam-packed with talent, expectations are high. Led by Tasmanian hockey great Eddie Ockenden, the Tigers men's side are heading into the tournament brimming with belief.
It's amazing. He also captains Australia, so to have his leadership and guidance, it's going to mean a lot to this squad, I reckon.
Boasting several kookaburras in the squad, the Tigers also have the home ground advantage for their first game.
I reckon we'll stack up really well, to be honest. I think we'd probably be one of the favourites going in, I'd imagine, and I think people will get behind it. It's a pretty exciting little tournament.
While the women aren't short on talent either, set to bring in 3 international class players, with former Hockey-roo Amelia Spence named skipper.
We've got a lot of depth in the squad, a lot of junior players coming through who are training really hard, and I think we're all linking up really well.
Both sides begin their Hockey 1 campaigns against the Adelaide Fire at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre on October 5. Meanwhile, the Tasmanian Tigers will be desperate to bounce back in their second one-day cup clash tomorrow, following a horror batting collapse against Victoria overnight. Sitting comfortably at 4 for 172 and needing just 14 runs off the final 71 balls for the win, the fall of wickets began as the Bushrangers' attack claimed 6 scalps in 3 overs to see the Tigers fall painfully short of victory by just 2 runs.
Good evening. Hobart, the coolest of our population centres today, reaching 15 degrees. Launceston up to 18 today. Burnie 16 and Devonport 17. 19 was the high at St Helens. Friendly Beaches 18. Smithton and Ouse 15. Low Head and the Islands 14. Strawn 13 degrees. Low level cloud due to an onshore flow over the west. Thinner cloud over the south and east. A band of cloud is over central and inland eastern Australia. Most of the rest of the country is cloud free. Plenty over the Indian Ocean to the west. Tomorrow a high over southeastern areas dominates most of the weather. A trough is over the far west of the country with another over inland Queensland. Winds west to southwesterly at 10 to 20 knots up to 25 knots over the south and tending west-northwesterly later in the day. Swells to 3 metres. For tomorrow, Hobart a cloudy day, 16 the maximum, 15 the top for Geeveston, bit of cloud over Bothwell, 13 the high. Launceston 17 degrees and partly cloudy for Devonport 16 the top, Cressy the same. For Burnie tomorrow a top of 16 degrees, bit of cloud about but fine, a shower or two though for Strawn 14 the top, Curry on King Island 14, 15 for St Helens, partly cloudy for Swansea and 15 for Orford as well. On Thursday a fine partly cloudy day, sunny over the northeast, a shower though over the west. On Friday showers across the state becoming windy over the northwest and conditions clearing for most areas on Saturday, still a shower over western areas. A shower in Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy in Adelaide, a light shower over Melbourne and with the presence of that large high, fine and mostly sunny weather for the other centres. Hobart 11 and mostly cloudy, partly cloudy in Launceston and 13 and mostly clear in Devonport and 11. Jo, I hope that's mostly partly clear to you.
Always partly mostly clear to me. Thank you very much, Merv. That's all from the team for now. We'll see you a little later. Bye-bye.